Reader Humaira writes in, asking why clocks and watches are often set to 10:10 in advertisements and displays. Well, Humaira, you're not alone in your curiosity. But first, let's debunk some myths. Some say that 10:10 symbolizes the time of tragic events in history, like the assassinations of Lincoln, Kennedy, or King, or the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. However, none of these events happened at 10:10. Lincoln was shot at 10:15 p.m. and died the next morning at 7:22 a.m. Kennedy was shot at 12:30 p.m. CST and pronounced dead at 1 p.m. And King was shot at 6:01 p.m. and pronounced dead at 7:05 p.m. The atomic bombs? They were dropped at 11:02 a.m. and 8:15 a.m. local time, respectively. So if these theories are all incorrect, what is the actual reason for the 10:10 setting? The answer is surprisingly simple: aesthetics. The real reason that clocks and watches are set to 10:10 in advertisements and displays is for aesthetic purposes. This might seem a bit anticlimactic after all the exciting theories, but let's dive into the details and you'll see why this makes perfect sense. Firstly, at 10:10, the hands of the clock or watch are not overlapping. This means they're both fully and clearly visible. If you consider that the hands of a watch can be a showcase of design prowess, with variations in shape, weight, and style, it's understandable that manufacturers would want them to be seen in all their glory. It's like having a beautiful pair of wings. You wouldn't want them to be hidden, would you? Secondly, the arrangement of the hands at 10:10 is symmetrical. As human beings, we have an innate appreciation for symmetry. It's why we find certain faces more attractive than others, and why a perfectly balanced photograph can be so satisfying to look at. The same principle applies to the face of a watch or clock. The symmetry created by the 10:10 position makes the product more visually appealing to customers. Then, there's the matter of the manufacturer's logo, which is usually placed in the center of the face, underneath the 12. The 10:10 position not only ensures that the logo is clearly visible, but also frames it beautifully. It's like the hands are saying, "Hey, look here, this is who made me." Lastly, if the face of the clock or watch has additional elements, like date windows or secondary dials, these are usually placed near the 3, 6, or 9. The 10:10 setting ensures that these elements aren't obscured, allowing potential customers to appreciate the full functionality of the timepiece. So, as you can see, the 10:10 setting is less about historical events and more about making the product look as appealing as possible. It's all about the aesthetics, the design, and, ultimately, the art of timekeeping. But the story doesn't end there. The standard setting hasn't always been 10:10. The evolution of time display has been influenced by more than just practicality. It's been shaped, believe it or not, by human emotion. You see, the standard setting used to be 8:20. However, if you picture a clock or a watch set to 8:20, it's easy to see why this setting fell out of favor. The hands, positioned downwards, gave the face of the clock or watch a rather gloomy appearance. It looked quite simply like it was frowning. Enter the power of a smile. To make their products more appealing, manufacturers started setting their clocks and watches to mirror a happier expression. The time was flipped, and 10:10 became the new standard. It's almost as if the clock or watch is smiling back at you, don't you think? Now, not everyone sets their timepieces to exactly 10:10. For instance, the folks at Timex have their own unique twist. They set their products at precisely 10 hours, 9 minutes, and 36 seconds. It's a subtle difference, but one that they believe optimizes the balance and symmetry of the hands. But what about the old standard, 8:20? Well, it hasn't completely disappeared. Some manufacturers hold on to tradition, particularly those who place their logo at the bottom of the face. In these instances, an 8:20 setting allows the logo to be clearly visible and unobscured by the hands. So, the next time you see a clock or watch set to 10:10 in an advertisement or display, you'll know that it's all about aesthetics and creating a sense of balance and appeal. It's not just about telling the time, it's about creating an emotional connection with the viewer. Thank you, Humaira, for your question.